Hello, everyone. Welcome to another fantastic episode of Elevating Your Life. Today, I'm going to share just an amazing woman who has created the most beautiful organization, the Wellness Universe, and she's an author. We're going to talk about her latest book today, which is The Wellness Universe Guide to Complete Self-Care. And I have to say right off the bat, Anna, that this is one of the most awesome books I've ever read, and I love it. And we're going to be talking about it more in detail. But a little more about Anna. She is the founder of the Wellness Universe and CEO of Soul Ventures, a woman-owned business. Love that. Where her mission is to make the world a better place. She's an inspirational leader, mentor, and connector for business owners who are changing the world. As an author and creator of wellness events, projects, and programs. Anna is an expert at showcasing, promoting, and supporting the world's most talented wellness professionals. And her and her husband have adopted pets. I love that. And because I'm big that way, and she's dedicated to calling and leaving her legacy as a conduit for change by bringing more health, happiness, and well-being to the world. You are so awesome, Anna. I'm just going to start out with that.
Thank you, Paula. I feel the same about you. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. I love it. I love it. Well, let's begin with a bit of your background and what brought you to create this beautiful wellness universe.
Sure, I'd love to share, and thank you for the honor and pleasure of being here with you today. This is such a blessing. I appreciate you.
Oh, thank you.
I was called, you know what, I'm not going to go into a whole big backstory about my personal life, but I ended up going to Portugal after I got married. And I didn't really know that that was in my future, but I found out that I'm a master manifester. So that happened for very specific purposes. And after I was there, I had started engaging on a Facebook page and sharing a lot of inspirational memes and quotes and just being there for my audience. And I started connecting with a lot of amazing, wonderful practitioners, healers, coaches, guides, teachers, therapists, speakers online. And my page started growing and growing and growing. And that page is the Circles of Inspiration. And I got to over probably 300,000 folks following me on my page. And I was sitting in my kitchen in Portugal one September day in 2013, and I was given the download. There needs to be a space created for people who are changing the world, and you're the one to do it. So I held on to that. I was like, seriously, I was like, don't give me too big of an assignment here, you know? So like that's no big deal. So in December, I approached a couple of women and started the project. And we started off as a Facebook group. And I brought together in the beginning, about 700 practitioners and people who are changing the world into this Facebook group. And then we launched the first site, which was a directory of Facebook pages in January of 2015. And now we've grown the platform to what it is today. It's the third iteration. We're actually working right now on the fourth iteration. So it's a directory of amazing practitioners, alternative wellness, holistic practitioners, people who are changing the world for mind, body, spirit, especially for emotional and mental well-being, spiritual well-being, and physical well-being. I started this, like I said, because I had the download, because I saw the need. I was getting a lot of people reaching out to me through Facebook, and I knew that I was not qualified to answer some of these questions or help these people in certain ways. I felt accountable and liable if they weren't getting the help they needed. And I felt at that time, because this is when Facebook was like really big. I mean, I was getting my meme shared like 1 million times. This is when everything was going crazy. And I had the forecast that things are going to change. They're going to change rapidly. And we need to bring these people over to something that serves them as the practitioners of wellness. And from that purpose alone, and knowing my network needed their own sacred space and peer-to-peer connection and community, and to be found somewhere, that's really what prompted me to create the Wellness Universe, to serve the teachers who are teaching, the practitioners who are practicing, and so therefore they could, make the world a better place.
Oh, that is so beautiful.
Thank
And
you.
isn't it amazing that when you put that out there, the people you connect with? Tell us a bit about how you found the amazing authors and coaches and practitioners that you have in this book. What steps did you take, and how did you connect with them?
Well, it's actually quite simple because the Wellness Universe is now created, and I am in with my community daily. I work in my business 7 days a week, and I love what I do. And I love the members of the Wellness Universe, being surrounded by their love and their light, and, all that they have to offer. You know, it's not, it's not often that you can surround yourself with people who are changing the world. And when you can, it's a blessing. So it was really easy to find these amazing authors who contributed a chapter each to this book, the one that you held up earlier for stress relief, because they are already members of the Wellness Universe. And then we just put the call out. It's very simple, actually, to create something through the Wellness Universe, because everyone knows what the Wellness Universe represents, what it stands for. And when we create an event, whether it be online or in person, because we have Soul Treat, Wellness Retreat annually, whether it's something online, in person, and now we have a series of books, they just step up and they're like, yes, I want to be part of it. Yes, I want to contribute, because this is the type of dynamic that we set up. And these amazing authors had submitted applications, and based on what they submitted, so we get a nice mix of tools, because I'm already familiar with our members. I know who they are. I've worked with them before. I have relationships with them. And I feel I have almost a soul contract with some of them, to be honest with you, so to help each other shine. And bringing them into this book allowed them to share their personal story of where either they succeeded or they had a challenge. Most of them, it's through the challenge to show how they dealt with, they give their tool on stress relief. But then others bring awareness to something through a story that they had. And not often do practitioners take the time to tell their story, because they're too busy trying to create the awareness or trying to guide people down the path of what their practice is, and trying to share what it is that they do and how it helps. But to pivot for one moment and bring the personal connection to the practitioner, from the practitioner to the reader, that makes them a real person. And that's the art behind this book, is that storytelling, because you get just involved and invested in the story that you're reading. And then you learn this amazing tool at the end of each chapter.
Yes, yes. And, it's so great. You get their story, and then, they discuss the theme and what they do. And what's so fun, I have to say, my favorite chapter, because I'm a big fan of gratitude, was the gratitude. And she not only shared some awesome verbiage and wisdom about gratitude and what it does for us, but she shared some fun little tools to do things with it. For example, draw your hand on a piece of paper, and then cut it out and write on that. I'm going to do that with my grandkids. I mean, so many of the chapters had things that you could do, get involved with, and, have fun doing with yourself, is not, as well as giving you something to think about. It really is a great tool, Anna.
Thank you, Paula. That was Jeanette Stewart. Jeanette Stewart has been with us probably since the beginning. She's one of the most tender-hearted, open-hearted practitioners that we have in the Wellness Universe. She communicates with the angels. She does a monthly blog for us where she gives the affirmations for the month, angelic affirmations for the month. And she is also a cancer survivor of one of the most deadliest cancers, pancreatic cancer. So and I'm getting goosebumps all down my back as I'm telling you this, and down my arms as I'm telling you this. In other words, she practices what she preaches, and she survived one of the deadliest cancers. And I believe it's because she walks her talk and she walks in her authentic light. So how she practices, how she contributes to the world, and how she gives. And of course, gratitude is one of her big conversations and topics. She is light embodied in a human being. She is amazing. So it just goes to show this is, and I love to support her, and she loves to support me and the wellness universe. And this is exactly where we need to make these connections. Like, here's this amazing human being doing this amazing stuff, and here's someone who needs the help, and here they connect. So her actually living the life she talks about, she walks in authenticity, what she talks about, and it shows, and she shares these things. You feel that it's a nice place to lay your head. It's a place that you want to commune in, that the wellness universe and in this book. And then you trust Jeanette, knowing her story, knowing what she's come through. She could only have come through that with some divine blessings, because and this is even within the whole story of her entire life. This is just one episode that happened very, very recently. But I'm glad that you brought her chapter up. She's a lovely divine being.
Yeah, it's just beautiful. And when I teach my Reiki classes, I always give my students a copy of a favorite book. This book is one of those books that I will be giving to my Reiki students when we do classes.
Thank you.
It's just huge, all the benefits it is. Well, I'm really excited to hear about your soul treat retreat. What is that? That sounds really great.
So in 2019, we launched this annual retreat, but we actually did 2 that year because it was so successful. The very first one, we literally planned another one and doubled the occupancy to over 100 people. We held it in Sedona, Arizona. The first 2, yeah.
My favorite place on the planet.
Yeah, it seemed to be a lot of people's favorite.
Right there. Oh, yes.
Yeah, it was wonderful. So we had it in Sedona the first two times in 2019, and then it was planned for last year, and of course COVID.
Mm-hmm.
So we have it this year on the East Coast, because people are like, when are you going to do an East Coast one? Although we have practitioners coming from Austria, UK, Australia, Canada, from everywhere, we're doing an East Coast one because a lot of the practitioners are from US. So we're going to be holding this one in October, about the 3rd week of October, in Boone, North Carolina, at the Art of Living Retreat Center. And if you've ever heard of the Art of Living Retreat Center, it is this enormous compound in Boone, right in overlooking the Blue Ridge Mountains in North Carolina. We're going to have it at the peak of the fall season. It's going to be absolutely spectacular.
I have to go. I have to go. Oh.
Thank you. It's amazing. If you look up the Art of Living Retreat Center, or if you go to www.soultreat, SOULTREAT.com, you'll be able to learn about our retreat. And we have practitioners doing 3 tracks of workshops and talks. We have a Soul Treat Fair where you can get one-on-one experiences from the healers and buy some wonderful stuff. And then we have nightly events. And one of the events on I believe it's the Friday night, we're going to have a book signing event. So all the authors, it's going to be over 20 authors attending the retreat, will be able to sign your books that you get that are Wellness Universe books, as well as their own books. So that's obviously exciting.
I love it. Count me in. Oh.
All right.
And I love that you've done things in Sedona. I do Reiki training down there every year and missed it, last year because of the virus. But the energy in Sedona is nothing like it. And I've always wanted to go to North Carolina. I have friends there, so I'm excited to check out your retreat. I already know which girlfriend I'm calling to say, hey, guess what? We're going to North Carolina later this year. Wow. Now, how many years have you been doing your retreats?
The Soul Retreat started in 2019. We have done events prior to that. We did Diva Day, which was a fundraising event for the Chester County Fund for Women and Girls. We have done more corporate type or more professional expos, also bringing wellness practitioners to the professional sports industry in Soccer X. So we've done a couple of different events. We partaken we partook in certain thanks in the Best U Expo, things like that. But Soul Treat really is one of our anchors and one of our cores now. We're going to do it at least once a year, if not 2 or 3, or maybe, you know, going on in different areas. So it's really, it's a life-changing. We've literally had people come back and say we've saved their life. Vanessa, my assistant, as you know, she actually, it transformed her life where she just like, I just want to come work for you. Like Soul Treat changed my life. I need to come work for you. So that's the type of dynamic that's set up there. And I think one of the biggest things that people don't maybe not realize on the surface, aside from the content and the connections, is the practitioners are part of the event. Now, when that happens as a guest and they go to all of the sessions with everybody else, when that happens, it's a powerful element that you don't realize, because you're there as someone, as a guest, someone who's seeking well-being and wants to be part of a retreat. But when you see a practitioner who just spoke on stage, someone of influence, a leader, you know, next to you, going through the same workshop as you feel a lot more accepted, whole, connected, like, oh, it's okay. Like they're on their journey too. Yeah. And you come together. It's not like stage and seated person or workshop facilitator or practitioner and attendee. You know what I mean? Yeah. That alone creates a new energy, I feel, that really is the elixir to why Soul Treat is so impactful, because the content is there. The practitioners are there with their wonderful practices. But that dynamic lets everybody feel we're one.
Yes.
That there's no elite, you know, things like that. Yeah. So I think that's one of the winning elixirs.
Just one together, a bunch of energy sisters. I love it. I love it. Yeah. Now, I understand you have another book coming out, or has it been released? Tell us about your next book.
So the next book, we're creating an entire series, and each book is going to have a different theme. So the next book that's going to be released on the 11th of February is 25 Tools for Happiness. So obviously, hence the yellow cover for happy. Excited about that. We had some really amazing endorsements by some really influential people on that book, as well as with the first book. And also on the launch day, we're matching book sales to women's empowerment. So if whatever paperbacks are sold on February 11th, we're going to match those book copies and give them to an organization to support women's empowerment.
Oh, that is so awesome.
Thank you.
That is so awesome. On February 11th. Wow. Next week.
Next week.
Oh my gosh. And that theme is so great. Happiness. Oh my gosh. I'm really excited to see, you know, who you have in that book and what they share and what you know, happiness is something that is seeked by everyone around the world. You know, it's, you know, getting tools on perceptions of happiness and your tools on all the different things in this book. I mean, you change lives, Anna. You and these other wellness coaches with their writings and what they do, you're changing lives. You're not only bringing happiness, you're bringing health, inspiration. And how, you know, that must just, you know, really put a smile on your face every day, knowing the lives that you're changing and the good you're doing in the world.
Paula, I thank you for that. And I really do. I steep myself like a tea bag in my blessings. I love what I do. I absolutely love it. I mean, it's a business, and the business side can be challenging, from, the funding to getting all the tasks done to everything running right. And, it's a business, and I have to uphold a platform online, a learning center, because we have classes on a learning center, the blog. So all of this contributes to, the daily, operations, which I still have to attend to all of it. I have a very small team, but a very dedicated team, and I'm so blessed to have them. But in the end, when you come out with these results, like the books, and you come away from events like Soul Treat or our online events for self-care or what have you, and I speak directly with the practitioners, or I speak directly with someone who has been the recipient or the witness to a healing, session, or a workshop, or a talk, or a panel, or whatever it was, it is so overwhelmingly rewarding. I wouldn't trade what I'm doing for anything, I think.
Yes, yes. And isn't it amazing, Anna, when, for example, things in this book, little things that they recommend you can do on a daily basis, how it changes your day and your life. I know for me, I've always started my day with, I'm going to take a moment to sit and think of something I'm grateful for. And I swear that sets the tone of your whole day. And, to get those kind of tools and ideas out there, and people can make those changes. But it's just amazing, I think, how doing one little thing in our daily routine can really affect our lives and our emotions.
Absolutely. And routine alone, Nancy Stevens was the very first chapter in the stress relief book. And she talks about routine and how to manage your stress just by creating a routine. But these small, I'm taking actually a course by Sherry Salata right now, who is the executive producer for Oprah Winfrey. And she actually gave us an endorsement on the happiness book. She's a fabulous, fabulous woman, guide, and coach. She actually calls them esteemable practices. And just to keep up with your esteemable practices, and it'll just help you to shift, help you to be a better person, help you to live your best life. And I love that, that phrase that she coined, esteemable practices. And that's exactly what you're talking about. I have my own, and I think that we each need to find our own, and they'll change also as we go through life. We might pick up something new, or change, or maybe even change it, like let me have my coffee first, and then let the sun rise, and I have to go and do my my practice outside in the sun, or let me do my practice at night, by the moon. So there's all of these different ways to do these types of practices, the time of day, the time in our life, what we're going through, what we're looking for. I am a firm believer that anything that can allow you to really open your heart, show yourself a little bit more compassionate self-love, will help you to be a better person, will help you to smooth the edges of yourself. And I like doing practices now for self-love. Before, as I evolved into where I am now, it was much more focused around faith and prayer. And I still do it. I was raised Catholic, so I'll do the rosary. But I think a practice that really helps you to feed your heart or strengthen your heart and give gratitude and share gratitude out with the world, I think for now, right now, where I'm sitting in my life, that helps me, soften the edges and gets me through my day.
That is so true. It's so true. And something I've found over the years that I think is just awesome. When I create these, my own personal, unique little uh, things that I do for myself, and get in that habit, after a while, you don't even have to think about it. You just do it automatically. And that really is a beautiful thing.
Yes, for sure. And you know what? I've noticed that sometimes I wake up and I get going into my day for whatever reason, and I forget to do my practice. I'm like, oh, I forgot to do this morning. And I know it, and I feel it, like something's missing.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so great. And I love, that you touched on, the importance of our own self-love, taking the time to love ourselves. That is just huge. It really is, because we can get so busy and so focused. We forget to you know, thank ourselves for being so awesome. Because we all are in our own way. And
Yeah.
that's just such a beautiful thing. I love it. I love it. With a few minutes left in the show, Anna, what last words do you want to leave with everyone today?
I just want these words to be heard. You know, we really can have the life that we want, but it's uncovering, discovering, peeling back the layers, you know, undoing and unlearning so we can go forward. And I think that a lot of what has happened in this world recently with COVID and us, you know, changing to a new lifestyle, being closed in with people like all day long or being alone, it really has shown us sides to ourselves that we would never have experienced, but it also gives us the great opportunity to show ourselves that self-compassion and that self-love that we need. And through that, you can do anything that you want. You can be anything that you want. You can be the person that you want to be to anyone else that you want. And I think that that's really important, that, you know, we should all take a moment and take inventory of who we are, what we're doing, how we're doing it, create the awareness around self-compassion and self-love, and just become a better person through it.
Yes. Oh, that is beautiful. Thank you, Anna. And before we say goodbye, please share with everyone your website, how they can, again, how they can learn more about you and these great events.
Sure. So thewellnessuniverse.com is the main site. And through there, you can go everywhere else. We have tons of different areas to enter into. You have the directory of all of the amazing practitioners to connect with. If you're a practitioner, you're welcome to join us. You have to apply for membership. But we really create all of these amazing events and exposure and visibility and community. Most important, the peer-to-peer support that you find in the Wellness Universe as a practitioner is second to none. And that's actually some of the most value, when somebody knows they have another person to go to that understands who they are as a peer and understands that we are all here to make the world a better place, and that we're not in competition. It's co-creation, collaboration that will lead us to success and to helping the world to heal. So thewellnessuniverse.com, and of course the books are available on Amazon. So if you just look up the Wellness Universe Guide to Complete Self-Care, you'll see the books listed on Amazon.
Oh,
And thank you.
It. Oh, thank you so much, Anna. This has been so fantastic, and I look forward to our next get together. And I look forward to the soul retreat. The soul
Thank you.
retreat. I am in.
Thank you, Paula.
You are so welcome. Love, hugs, and blessings. And to everyone out there, love, hugs, and blessings. If you are listening to the show via audio, you can check out the podcast, the video, at patreon.com/Paula Vail. We are so grateful to have had you join us today. Goodbye, everyone.